Hi everyone, my name is Mustafa Karami. I'm candidate of Türkiye Bursları. This video recorded for Türkiye Bursları. Today we are going to talk about sonate. This video has three parts. At first part, we are going to describe what is difference between sonate form and sonate piece. And in second part, we are going to talk about generally formulation of sonate and what is the sonate form and the structure of sonate form. And in the last part, we are going to analyze Symphony number 40 by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. It's in sonate form. Okay, at first I have to say what is difference between sonate form and sonate piece. When we are talking about sonate piece, in fact, we are talking about one piece that it maybe has 3 or 4 movements, and each movement can has other form, maybe in sonate, maybe in rondo, maybe in each movement has any, in fact, forms. But we are talking about just now sonate form. What is sonate form? Sonate form is a structure of one piece. It has general formulation. Okay, the sonate forms formulation is we have 3 necessary parts. In the first part, we have exposition. Exposition. And secondary part is development. And third part is recapitulation. Let's talk about first part. Exposition has 4 parts. At first, we have term 1 and transition in there. I show it with T. Transition in there and secondary term and finally codetta. Codetta meaning in Italian language, codetta meaning is little coda. And what about coda? Coda means little ending, little finishing. Okay, first term and second term are in contrast together. You know, if our first term was in major, we have second term in dominant of that. For example, if our first term was in C major, after transition that contains modulation, in second term we have our term is on G major, you know, C major and G major is dominant of that. And we have, as I said, we have modulation in transition or passing section. And finally, coda or codetta, sorry. If our first term was in minor tonality, after transition and modulation, we are going to relative major. For example, if we were in A minor, we have transition and passing part and modulation, and secondary term will be in C major, relative major of that minor. And finally, codetta. It was structure of part A. And we have part B, development. In there, we can see knowledge of composer and we can see playing with terms, we can see many modulation, for example, or fragmentation and other things. We have development in there. And finally, recapitulation. Is A, or it seems to me that it's a prime, because there's a little bit difference between this A and this A, because it is this is the why I said it's a prime. Okay, in there, like A, we have first term again, transition part or passing part again, secondary term again, and codetta. I said there's difference between A prime and A. The why is, in first term we are in first tonality, but in transition or in passing part we don't have any modulation, because we are going to hear or write a secondary term in first tonality, and this is difference between A prime and A. We don't have any modulation, and secondary term is same to first term in same tonality. You know, we don't have any modulation. It was general planning of sonate, and finally we have optional part. It's not necessary and it's not forced, but it's optional. We say in composing coda. It's Italian word that means finishing and final part. Okay, I repeat again, it's not forced, it's optional. We can have it or don't have it. Okay, it's clear. Let's go to third part of my speaks. We are going to analyze the first movement of Symphony number 40 by Mozart. At first, I have to say, Mozart had 41 symphonies that all of them are in major, except Symphony number 25 and Symphony number 40, that I will talk about that. Symphony number 40 and 25 are in G minor, and all of them are in major. Okay, this is information about that. And other information about the Mozart symphonies is, people say or musicians say symphonies number 39, 40 and 41 seems triple symphony. In fact, in other words, they are together, because in beginning of symphony number 39 we have great beginning and intro and great beginning, in fact, and in the final of symphony number 41 we have great finishing, ending or outro. Okay, but in symphony number 40 we don't have any great intro or ending, and it seems to be that these are together and these are triple symphonies. Okay, and let's analyze symphony number 40. First movement of symphony number 40, it's in G minor, and I think Mozart wrote it 3 years before his death. Okay, at first we are going to listen Theme 1 or Theme A. Okay, it's in G minor. It's first part. It's in G minor. Repeat, we are repeating there. With adding woodwinds. This is passing part or transition part in there. We have modulation because we are going to B flat major, relative major of G minor. And secondary term in B flat major. in there we have question and answer between strings and woodwinds. Okay, finally, codetta. It's codetta. Mozart uses the famous motif of ba ba bam in codetta again. Do you hear? Ba ba bam. It's first motif. Again, repeat from there to there. G minor again. Analyze again. Again, term 1 or term A in G minor, adding woodwinds under of strings. Full orchestra. It was transition, a second or term in B flat major again. No, term 2 and term 1 are in contrast together. And again, we have here question and answer between strings and woodwinds. Codetta. And using the first motif ba ba bam again in codetta. Prepare us to go to the development parts in there. Development part in there. Again, Mozart uses the motif, the first motif, ba ba bam. In development, we can use first term and secondary term, but in there, Mozart only used the first term, not secondary term, for development, in fact. Again, answer a question in orchestration between strings and woodwinds and full orchestra. We're going to recapitulation. First term in G minor again. Under the string, please hear? It's boson, and little bit difference because it's a prim. I said it has a little bit difference, and transition or passing part we don't have any modulation. We can hear one little modulation, but we back to G minor. Okay, it's not modulation. Transition is a little bit different difference to this transition. Okay, and secondary theme in there, but in this part it's in G minor again, and we don't have modulation. It's a little bit dark and black, you know. There's a difference between this secondary theme and this one. It was in B flat major, but it hasn't any modulation, and it's in G minor. And we're going to codetta. It's codetta. Again, we have here the famous movement, famous sign. It's famous motive, let's say. And then coda, optional. It's optional part. It's coda. Again, Mozart used the famous motif ba ba bam ba ba ba, and cadence. It's finished. Thank you very much. I wish that you accept this, analyze and explain of the sonate form, sonate piece, and general formulation of sonates, and finally analyze the Mozart first movement of Symphony number 40. Have a good time. Bye.